nadhani ina affect human being. Kwanza from the point of childhood. Kama mtu grow up na habits za violence from the parent, obviously adapt that style. Na the more grow up na violence, anaenda up anabuild hiyo character ndani yake. Lack of communication, as in kama tuseme mtu amekosana, as in I'm find a way to solve the problem. Kila mtu anabash off the problem. So there's no way unaweza solve problem because one party hayuko involved.
Kuna changamoto kwa sababu watu kukosana kwa nyumba, na naona siku hizi watu wanaishi wengine single rooms, wanaishi pamoja na watoto. Mkikosana na mwanamke, maybe ile ukali unatoka kwa mwanamke, hata mtoto anaweza ogopa. So maybe mwanaume ukasirika saa zingine, wanaona vita imetokea kwa nyumba. Sasa ile uoga watoto wanakuwa wanao, ama mtoto na saa zingine anakuuliza, "Daddy, mbona unapiga mami?"
Welcome back, guys. That's the word on the streets. And right about now, we've been joined by Shelmith Mukami. She's going to be a contributor to this conversation. Before we went on the break, though, we had Salamba here talk about kids growing up without present dads and growing up in very abusive relationships. And we're going to continue with that conversation. Remember, you can engage with us using the hashtag KTN Life and Style on Twitter. And you can also converse with Susan on her personal social media page at @SNJoroge, S_Joroge, and mine at _Nixie. So Salamba, just to bring the guys back onto the show, yeah? You talked about kids growing up in abusive environments.
Yeah.
And I'd like to understand, or rather me and the people really want to understand, why is it that we have people in relationships where they experience this physical abuse, but then it's sort of like so hard for them to get out of it? Like they can see, umechapwa, uko na max, you know, but
especially
you're still not
when it's
living.
young people.
Yeah, but they're still not living.
You know, as I said before, that whenever even I deal with any case of someone who's gone through that, the first question I normally ask is this: how did this person choose you? Of all the women on earth, how did this man think that you are the right candidate for him to live with, and knew that he would do what he's doing and you would stay? Even for the men who are going through the same thing also.
Yeah.
But also men don't get up in arms and say that.
Yeah.
Even for them as well. How were you chosen by this person? Because the person you end up with says more about you than about them. So it is important to ask yourself that, how did this person choose me? Why me? You know?
Yeah.
And that's the first question. Now, at why me is when you understand why people stay. Because this person, when they pick you out based on the dysfunction that you have. And they are sure that there's nowhere you will go. And truthfully speaking, you don't go. Because getting someone out of an abusive relationship is work. You have a higher chance, I tell you, of going to get someone from Afghanistan now and bring them here.
Rather than...
Wow.
It is difficult because they'll stay. And over time, what happens, you begin even to, because we all want to fix. You know, when a relationship fails, you have failed. Let's not lie about it. If a relationship fails, it's not the neighbor, it's not God, it's not the ancestors.
Yeah.
It
It's
is
directly you.
have failed. And many times you can take failure. Because you're thinking, I've succeeded in my career, my folks expect this from me. You know, I had a big wedding, it was on TV, I can't fail. So let me stay and think that over time I can fix this person. But you're not Jesus. Only Jesus can fix. You can't fix everyone. So people overstay. And now when try to bring them out, it's a struggle because they think, if I leave, then I have failed. Now they begin to give excuses. You see someone with a mark, you ask him, where did this mark come from? I was hit by a cow.
I fell down the stairs.
Yeah.
You know, some funny things come up and you wonder what happens. It's because it's us. It's the dysfunction we have that keeps us. And we believe that this is the only place that I can be, where I can be accepted. Yeah.
Wow.
But then let me ask a question. For, let's say, guys who've been brought up in a family where physical and emotional abuse was something very normal.
A daily dose.
Exactly. So when you get married, you tend to think that since it's normal, you can do that to, I don't know, your wife? Is that a thing?
Remember that you'll never find a man who beats his wife who loves himself.
Hey,
never
so
find.
do I close this show? We move to Afghanistan now, you know?
You will never find any man who abuses his wife is expressing his own self-loathing.
So
Every
it's an
man.
insecurity in them.
Himself by himself, and that's why you find that when a man when someone is being, when let's say when a woman stands up against this man who's abusing her, the guy recoils. Yeah, he gets fear. But you see, he hates himself, and he hates where he has come from. He hates his life. He hates his past, but has never had an outlet. The only outlet he had was he saw violence. So you'll never find a man who beats a woman who loves himself. That's impossible. That is impossible. You can't find one.
Jeez.
That is crazy.
You can't find one. Yeah.
You're very vocal on your social media about a lot of these social issues that young people are facing. And these days there's a lot of memes where people are always like, don't bring, no, they say dating at 21 was, oh my God, I'm so happy and glad to meet you. Dating at 27 is, it's been nice talking to you, but do you have any other childhood traumas you have not dealt with that you're going to bring my way?
We need
and
to
yeah,
know.
so now people now, let me say, are being more woke. Yeah, with the younger generation. Do you have, what is your interaction with people on social media? Because you're very vocal about these things.
Okay, so I feel like as women, we are settling for less because
People are just dropping mics to them. They're throwing them. Throwing mics.
I think we're settling for less because, for example, if you've not grown up with a father figure in your life,
Yeah.
so you grow up when you get to the age where you're looking for a man, so to speak, you're looking to fill that space
The
that
void.
that your dad didn't.
Right.
That is why we see young women who are in such bad relationships, but they're still there because there's something that man is giving her that, it's like daddy issues for some reason,
It's not like it's literally
yeah, which is really sad because we don't know our worth these days.
Yeah.
And, we need people to constantly remind us as women our worth. That's why I'm very vocal about speaking about such issues because we need to remind ourselves, our worth,
Yeah.
because it's really sad. The rate at which
You're very even now I'm asking myself, Susan, do you know your worth? Ama, you are just
Me too, I'm about to go
tempest
calculate
yourself over here. Like, the thing about single parenthood, though, when you're born in that family, you have no control over the situation. You kazi yako ni tu kuzaliwa.
That's
you
true.
know, but if you go on the reverse a bit, because there are things as a child I can't control. I can't control my father's choice to stay.
Yeah.
Right? But now there's something else that's also on the flip side. You've talked about worth. And I want to go to the worth from the basis, because I normally say that marriage precedes children. A good marriage produces good children. A good single parent produces a stable child. Now, when she talks about worth, I want to add it this way. That if, let's say, she's married, and the father of her child chooses to go, she must be stable enough to make one choice. One, she can't be the mother and the father. That is a rumor. That can't happen.
Yeah.
But he said, no. I as a mother, I know where my worth is. This man didn't define me. Okay? So I will be a stable single mom to this child. I'll be the best mom this child can have. But at least I can be stable, because you'd rather have one stable parent than a specimen running around the house.
Right.
Yes. I have one stable one. And now as a mother, now I'm a stable mom. What is she doing? She's protecting the child from the void that the father leaves. So when this child grows, the mother has shown the child that I didn't find my value from your dad who left. The problem is that it's the counter effect, whereby the husband leaves. Now the mother is there saying, your father left us. Your father left us. Your father left us.
Ama, they keep saying, you look like your father.
Yeah, you look like your
You
father.
remind me. Yeah, you remind me
You're
so
your
much of your
father.
father.
With some disgusted face.
So and over time, that brings some frustration. So the child wakes up, grows knowing that there is an emotional void.
Yeah.
Because my mother is pouring into me her need for a man. My mother's life and the way she communicates expresses her need to be loved by a man. The child receives double need. The mother and the mother's and her own. But if the mother shows that I am okay,
Yeah.
I am not desperately need to be loved by a man to be a good mother to you, then she limits the damage that the absentee father puts.
Yeah. I can see,
but-
Shelby,
yeah.
you have a lot of things to say. And I'm sure our viewers also have a lot to say. Remember, you can contribute to this conversation using the hashtag KTN Life and Style on Twitter. You can also DM at S_Njoroge. You can also DM me on Ann_Nixie on Instagram, and on Twitter at NMITE.
Yeah.
In the meantime, though, Shelley, I really want to get to you because I feel like you have burning issues with what he said. Okay, let me just give it to you first.
Okay, so you
Umekalia sana.
let me. Okay, as much as if you're a single mother, you try your best to be a perfect parent, your child will still need that father figure. So as much as you try so hard to be that perfect single mom, at some point in life, that child will still need a father figure. So it's
Yeah,
just
but
something you can't control.
But you see, if as a mother you are stable, if you are stable, it means that even the men in your life are stable. Meaning that if you're even to connect your son or your daughter to a male figure to stand in the gap, you're connecting them to stable men because you're stable.
I was actually just going to ask that,
Yeah.
like whether you would encourage it, because
Yeah.
I know sometimes maybe I can have a brother, an uncle, or just a guy friend who there's some conversations that are just easier gender to gender,
Yeah.
or there's a stage that I see my child reaching and I'm not able to communicate to them effectively like the way somebody of their fellow mans would be able to. So you would encourage it as a single parent, look
Yeah.
for that. So if you're a single dad, look for that lady in your life who can be able to communicate with your child and
Yeah.
fill in that gap, and vice versa. If you're a
Because if
single
you're
mom,
stable,
to do
you'll
it.
attract stable fellows.
That's true.
If you're unstable,
you attract unstable
Okay.
people.
So maybe Victor, we can talk about these dysfunctionalities, yeah? So we've established them, we've identified them. Now what do we do? Let's say for instance, yeah? Let's say I'm from I have my own dysfunctions. It's an example, people. It's an example. So, and I attract this man, and I realize he also has these traumatic experiences. But maybe I actually do really like the man. So what do we do now? Should I now go look for another person who's probably going to have the same traumatic experiences? How do we deal with it?
I always have one principle when it comes to dating. Sort your mess first. Don't complicate someone else's life. Their life is complicated already. They already have trauma. Now you're bringing your trauma. This is a hybrid of trauma. Deal with your issues first. I think there's a lot of respect in telling someone, listen, I like you, but I have issues. And I have to sort my issues out. If my issues, once they are sorted, lead me back to you. Because at times, you can end up sorting out your issues, and the person is not right for you after you sort your issues out. It's like, have you shopped when you're hungry? Have you gone to the supermarket when you're hungry?
By just foolishness.
Yeah, you
Foolishness.
buy cooked and uncooked food. You buy everything.
Yeah.
You buy Chris, you start eating them as you go, then you buy one. It's a lot.
Then once you're full, you realize, why did I buy all these things? And at times when you have a dysfunction, you can fall in love with someone based on your dysfunction. Because you think that your dysfunction, as you said, about your worth. If your dysfunction affects your self-worth, you'll be the man or a woman who you think makes me feel good about myself.
Right.
Then when you get sorted your dysfunction, you look at the person one day and think,
What am I doing here?
why am I here?
Yeah. Yeah.
I always believe that don't complicate someone else's life. Be mature enough to say, I have my own issues. Please. If my issues are sorted and they make us meet, then it's okay.
Yeah.
There's no hurry as well. Yeah. What is the rush? Because I believe that marriage involves your life.
Okay.
Take it seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For people that realize after the fact, because there are people watching us and they're in a relationship and maybe they've
They've gotten
discovered,
married.
yes, and they've discovered now later on that actually my partner has something that they never dealt with. Right? And the partner has maybe even acknowledged. Because you see, people also go through traumatic experiences that they forget or block out. Yeah. So to you, it maybe never even happened, or you've decided it's a non-issue. But it starts manifesting itself. So when you're dating this person already, or you're married to this person already, what are the steps that people should take? Actually, let me ask this. Should recovery be only me, myself, and I? It's a me problem. Or should my partner be involved? Is there a healthy way for my partner to help me sort out my issues?
If you're married, it involves the two of you. But the one mistake you don't do, cardinal mistake number one, never tell your partner you have unresolved childhood issues. You need to go see a therapist.
So
You should never open your mouth to say that. So how do you get them to the therapist?
No. You'd rather begin, because remember, you chose them in their dysfunction. That says something about you. In its own right. You chose them in their dysfunction.
Hey,
You fell in
Salamba is
love
coming
with
for
dysfunction.
everyone today. I was like, but then how? Look, it's you who chose. Okay, it's true.
So you chose them
It's
that
all
way.
your
So
fault.
begin by saying, you know what, I think this marriage needs a bit of help. Can we get some help? Now, when you go to someone who has the experience, they'll be able to separate you, go through a process, and realize this one has a childhood issue. They begin to take it as well. Because also remember, when I talked about dysfunction, something you should be aware that you are attracted to someone who you also assume can remedy your problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they have no capacity. So never tell your partner, hey, Mona, there's something wrong with you. You need help. You are the one with issues. You need help. Never tell your partner that. You'll spoil everything. Now they'll never go. They'll say, in fact, you are my issue.
Question. Wait. But is there a problem with telling your partner from the word go that, hey, for example, I have daddy issues and you've come into my life and we need to talk about these things. I need to let you know in advance so that you know what you're getting yourself into. Will that act as a red flag, or will this person be like, okay, fine, I understand that, we'll work through this together?
My issue is that this person have the capacity.
Do they understand what
Because
they're getting into?
at times what hurts us in our relationships is that I expect you to heal my mother's wound. And when you want me, you're blinded by what that means. So we meet on Thursday evening, we have coffee, we go home. You think, he just has mommy issues. Then we get married. Then you realize these mommy issues are beyond my pay grade.
Yeah.
I can't manage this. So it's also good that find a way to deal with them independently. And also, let it be something that you're willing to deal with that it ends. That also you're not into marriage 10 years later, still saying, my mom left. My dad left. No. Because at times people end up even having affairs and cheating and saying, it's a generational problem.
It's a generational. Oh, but
I think it's in my family.
on that issue of you healing your own problems first, yeah? So again, a lot of research went into this, yeah? Because a lot of people had their own experiences to share. And somebody shared with me a video of this lady, what's her name? Ida Alicia.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she has a public video on YouTube. You all can go check it out. And she was talking about her abusive relationship. And she said her friends used to tell her that the fiancé or the boyfriend, I don't know what stage they were at, but they weren't married, thank God. And the friends used to tell her that the boyfriend was narcissistic. But she couldn't ever see because she was very in love. And she goes ahead to say that the guy started even being physically abusive at some point. And eventually she had to leave. And she continues in the video and says that the thing with people like him, now the narcissists, they never change, they get worse with time. So when you speak about you looking into yourself, within yourself, and dealing with your own issues, first of all, is she right to say that narcissists just get worse with time?
They never
and
change.
Again, since you're saying people can change their issues, you can look within and change your issues. How can narcissists do that in the first place if they are never ever going to change?
First things first, a narcissist, the possibility of a narcissist changing, to be very honest, is very slim. Not that they can't change, but it's very slim. Because for the time I've done this, I have not met one who has changed.
Okay.
So
How long have you done
it? Relationship
How long have you
coach.
done it?
I've done this for 11 years.
Okay.
Now. And in 11 years, I've seen many people, and
This is about to come back.
I have not even seen one who has changed. I've just read that there's one who changed somewhere in Russia. I don't know where, in Russia. But I have never met. But the fact is this. The interesting thing about a narcissist and how a narcissist gets you, the narcissists are very clever people by nature, very intelligent people by nature, and they know how to get you.
Facts.
But now the fact of the matter is this: the inability to show empathy is the problem. Because remember, a man has I'm saying this, a man because if you find 10 narcissists, maybe 8 or 9.5
Amen.
are actually men.
9.5. I like
Yeah.
that.
It's very difficult to find a woman who's a narcissist.
Yeah.
Because women tend to be more sadists. Yeah. Women tend to be more sadists because being a sadist involves some form of feelings.
Yeah.
A narcissist has an inability
To
to
feel.
have any emotions. That is almost impossible for a woman. That's why I'm saying most men are narcissists
Yeah.
than women.
Yeah.
So this man, narcissist, 98% of them, it's a mother's wound. Mothers create narcissists. So
Really?
Yeah, mothers get narcissists.
How?
Yeah, it's a mother's wound because the mother protects this child from taking emotional responsibility. So this child makes a mistake, mama anakuja anasema, keep him here. So every time the child thinks that I am always protected, the child never has time to grow into emotions. So this child can abuse you, and you tell the mom, nani alinitukana, and the mom says, keep the child away. The mom takes the
my
emotion itself.
God.
So the child is shielded from emotional growth.
So it's something you develop. It's not like you're born that way.
No, it's not a gift.
Yeah, that would be the worst gift to have.
Because Nixie had put this up on her story and it made me laugh so much. And
Yeah.
she mentioned narcissist and was like, we are all created created by
In the
God.
image, I read this post, yeah,
Image
and
and
I share this a
likeness.
lot because I started learning about narcissism the other day, and it's mind blowing. Like when you get deeper, it gets even worse,
Yeah.
So I saw this post where the qualities that you see on the surface, apparently they tend to be really nice people to the public. People
Yeah.
love them and everything. So what you see is just the tip of the iceberg, and it's godly, smart, intelligent, and then down, that whole
Under
stem
the
of
water.
iceberg, not under the water. It's everything else, manipulative, abusive, all these things, and very mean people. And I just wrote a caption there. After all, we are all made in the image and likeness of God.
Yeah,
God,
I know.
how?
I was like, wait, what?
Why? Yeah.
No. They're actually created by their
Their
parents.
The
parents,
circumstances,
yeah.
when they're growing up.
Because from 0 to 10 years is the time when a man in his life opens up his emotions. 0 to 10 years. If you talk to the parents who have got boys and girls, or if you have young brothers and sisters, you'll notice that boys cry more at that age than girls. That age is when men are open emotionally. After that, they actually close shop. Yeah, that's why now you can say African men don't cry, they only sweat.
Yeah.
Because now you look at the guys, yeah, because he closed shop.
They don't sweat.
So we should identify our husbands between 1 and 10. Be like this one.
Show me video clips
'Cause after that
of
they
how you
switch off.
Of emotions. So if at all he wasn't trained by how to be mature enough to go through how to process them, how to process pain, how to cry. That's why you can find a man is burying his mother and doesn't cry. He's watching like this. Yeah, because he was never taught how to process. So at that age, if the mother stops him from now even going through it,
Yeah.
there's no responsibility he takes. Because a narcissist basically has inability to have empathy. They can't have empathy. The narcissist, oh, my dad died. He'll ask you, so which suit do I wear? Yeah, that's how they are. Now the worst thing is that it's difficult to see them coming. It's difficult to see them coming because a narcissist is the best in PR.
Hey, so what do you do? Pray item every day. Father
They are
Lord,
the
let me
best
not
in
meet
prayer.
with
A
this.
narcissist.
They actually dress very well. They speak very well. If they appear in public, they are the best speakers. You'll see them speaking very well. Ask their wives.
What they have to go through.
She'll tell you, you have no idea what you see. So the chance of them changing is very low. They actually hardly ever change. And when he becomes physically abusive, you are done. Because they grow into physical abuse. They don't begin by being physical abusive, they grow into it.
Yeah.
Once they get there, please buy some shoes and run.
Run.
Yesterday.
Guys,
Yes.
this conversation is getting deeper and deeper and deeper. Yo, it's getting really deep.
Wait.
We have so many questions right about now. We are going to reply on social, the questions on social. And if you've not yet engaged with us, remember the hashtag to use is KTN Life and Style. Right about now, we have to take a little break, and then we'll be back with more.